Here it is. Before I start telling anything, I want to introduce this passion project, this idea. I don't know where it'll end up, but here's where I'd like to start. I want to share everything I can, while it's still fresh. Even after 20 years of living, I remember things in a strange amount of detail. And I'm not sure why yet, but I believe everything has a purpose. So while I try to figure that out, I want to record these memories. Keep them in stone, let's say. Not just for me, but maybe for you too. I don't know what your childhood looked like, but this is what mine looked like. What it felt like. And just a quick disclaimer, I'll keep most names, places, and landmarks fake, for privacy. Not just mine, but for the people who've crossed my path in life. And this is the kind of video you can play while relaxing, cooking. You don't even need to watch it. Listening is enough. And thank you for giving me your time. I'd like to go back to the past now. He was clumsy, curious, a bit naughty. He was afraid of the dark and earthquakes. Born in the capital of Peru. This series will tell his story so far. Or maybe our story. My goal is to connect with you, even if I never see you. I don't know who you are. I don't know who's watching this, but I just hope to maybe create a link between the two of us. I'll follow my life in chronological order. It'll start out light, just like little anecdotes, but over time, the stories will get a deeper sense. And something that I do always is just that. Every time I look back on a memory, I try to reflect on it. We must always try to learn from the past, otherwise, what was the point of those memories, right? So here we go. Let's begin. My first memory is, well, I was standing, more like crawling, on the edge of a window, about to fall. Yeah, I was a curious kid, like most toddlers. When they do something they know they're not supposed to, I used to get too quiet, apparently. At the time, I was probably no more than 3 years old. My mom and older brother noticed something felt off, and when they found me, I was just standing there, looking out the window, and one wrong move, and that could have been it. Thank God my family noticed. I'm sure they grabbed me. I don't know whether I cried or not. That I don't remember. We lived on the second, or maybe third floor. I can't say for sure. I'll try showing the house on Google Maps, but not all of it. I want to keep most places private, like I said. Well, I was just a baby, but I do remember the height and the air. Everything around me was much, much bigger. But not all my memories from that age were like that. One of them, maybe the most important one overall, was peaceful, quiet, and honestly beautiful. I was in a small room. Cloth curtains were closed. I don't remember the color, but the sun's warm orange light used to gently lit the room. I hope you can picture it, because that peace, I remember it meant everything to me, and it still does, most of the time. And I wanted to share it with you. Maybe you have a special memory like that, and if you don't, that's alright. That's alright too. And on a later episode, I will explain why. Anyway, I remember in this room, I was holding one of those chunky old PlayStation 2 controllers, and I sat in front of an old cubic TV, like those ones you had to adjust the antenna on top to get a good signal. Yeah, those ones. I was playing video games on a TV like that back in 2008, something like that. And I do remember the game was ATV Off-Road Fury. And sometimes it was this old Need for Speed 2, something like that. Racing games, very important. Ethereal music, dirt trails, a sense of speed. I loved cars from a young age, and I still do. Back then, it wasn't just a hobby for me, it was everything. Something about the noise or the feeling of going fast. Even if it was pixels on a screen, it just felt so real to me. And most importantly, next to me lying on a bed was my grandmother. I still remember her voice and the smell of her clothes, the way she chuckled whenever I got excited about winning a race. Now I'm sure she didn't understand anything about the game, but she didn't need to. She was just happy about seeing me happy. That was enough for her. And after some reflection, it was enough for me too. That memory is kind of burned into me. The music of those games too. The style, the energy, it even shaped my music taste years later. Imagine, I just want you to try to imagine it, how it felt for me. Imagine the mind and awe of a car-crazed child whenever he used to start his old, dusty console and hears the soft, piercing, ethereal tune. This used to be my safe space, a long time ago, and I remember it dearly, as it marked me for the rest of my life. I just love cars too much now. Another core memory I carry with me is the old park near where I lived as a kid. Parque Mariscal Ramón Castilla. No idea who the guy was, but Mariscal? That sounds important. It probably was. I did not look him up. Part of the magic behind the name was not knowing who he was, and I'd like to keep it that way. My childish mind still thinks he's like a soldier, like an old trooper on a horse with a sword and lifted up to the sky, something like that. I don't know, something straight out of legend. Let's keep it that way. And yeah, I'll keep it that way. Back then, this park had this old go-kart track. Sorry, that was my tea. I was only 3, but by that point, my family knew damn well I loved racing. They even got me this RC buggy I could sit in and drive. If I found the picture of the old buggy, or the same buggy on the internet, I'll put the picture on the screen right now. I don't know if I'll find it, it's so old. But they bought me this RC buggy, right? It was like this Jeep. It was this yellow, red, and a little bit of blue, I think. And honestly, that car probably topped out at a snail's pace, but to me, I was the fastest kid in the world whenever I got into that car. One day, my mom took me to this park. She knew how deep my passion ran. I was obsessed with the Cars movie, by the way, the Disney one. According to legend, I used to watch it at least 5 times a day, easy. It was like my baby shark back then, And anyway, she asked the track worker at the park if I could give it a try. It cost 5 soles, or 5 suns in Peruvian currency. And he just said no, I couldn't try it. I was far too young. They only let kids 5 and up race, and if I remember correctly, I was like around 2 or 3 years old. It was disappointing news at the time, but my mom believed I could do it. I was ready to go back home, saddened, but she told the guy he's a good driver, and I believed her. I believed my mom. So he kept asking, and eventually, luckily for me, he gave in. Said I could do a trial lap to prove myself. And I still remember walking up to pick my card, you know. He opened the red fence. Back then it was red. I think nowadays there's not even a fence. That's also another fact. Now, there's no go-kart track. There's only the ruins of the track, but there's no like roof for the track. There's no paint for the track, and it's overgrown with leaves. And I remember now, kids like skateboard on that, or just sit around or play soccer in the go-kart track. Yeah, but back then he opened the fence. It was like red, tall fence. Well, tall for a 3-year-old. And I remember just walking, and there was a vast selection of cars. There was a yellow motorcycle-looking thing, and a creepy 2-seater with eyes and lips painted on it. And another basic blue 2-seater. Now, I don't know why. I didn't like the 2-seaters at first, and the motorbike was too tall for me. I do remember that. It was too tall for me. But then I saw the real carts. And the most outstanding ones were this Spider-Man one and a clean black and gray cart. Very clean, very smooth looking. And I picked the black and gray. Why? Because that's what my older brother always picked in ATV Off-Road Fury, which was like this ATV game, these like 4-wheeled vehicles. I don't remember, I think they call them quads, not sure. But he always picked this Yamaha in the game, and he always liked the black and gray or white, you know. And back then, whatever my brother liked, I liked. He was kind of my superhero, and still is. Anyway, I chose the black and gray one. I sat down, and the cart was still warm from the last kid who drove it. Hot leather against my back. The worker slid in the coin, pulled the starting string, and I felt it. For the first time. The engine, the rumble, and the vibration. It wasn't much. Probably just a glorified lawnmower for all I care, but to me, it was the real deal back then. And for the first time, the roar I heard in video games was under me, in real life. I started the first lap slow, and I still remember the track layout. It's still in my head, I can still see it. Warm to my tires, just like Lightning McQueen, like I said, I used to watch the movie all the time. But back then I wasn't thinking about grip or performance, I just did this snaky thing that professional drivers do. But I just wanted to be like him. I didn't know why they did the snaking thing, it just looked cool. And after I completed the first lap to get to know the track, I sent it. I remember no brakes, just flow. And like I said, I remember a lot of details. I'm not sure why, but I'm grateful I do, because I can still feel. If I close my eyes and think hard enough, I can still feel the wind on my face, the sun peeking through the trees above the park, just through the green, thick foliage. And my mom was cheering and taking pictures from the fence. I was happy. And I was home. Eventually, I became a regular. The worker knew us on site. And in my long and glorious racetrack career of probably just a couple months, I only remember 3 meaningful crashes. And one of them wasn't even my fault, I promise. And I don't want to stretch this video too far. I just wanted to see how I could take this passion project, small stories, and like I said, we start with small little anecdotes. They're short, yes, but eventually as I grow older, the memories will turn longer, there will be more plot twists, and Maybe in the future, if these kinds of videos actually get an audience, I'll invest on a microphone, because I know the one I have right now isn't the best one, let's say. But that's okay. This is how it all started. Me, a track, and 5 sons. As well as the soft, glitchy light of an old TV, my grandmother's presence, and a near-death experience, I'd say. Looking back, it's kind of wild. It's like my first memory was almost the end of me, standing at the edge of a window with no clue of what danger meant. And just a little later, I found myself on a different kind of edge, the starting line of a tiny racetrack, a loud heartbeat, and a louder engine. And both moments stayed with me for the same reason. They were real, unfiltered. Moments where I felt completely alive. Even if I didn't know how to put that into words back then. But if I could remember memories from when I was 3 years old, that must mean something. I mean, it had to be big. It had to be something big for my childish mind back then. I don't know. These are moments that were filled with the innocence and curiosity of a young child. It's something that I miss nowadays. There's something important about looking back though. We shouldn't just do it to feel safe again, or to hide from the present, because then, let's just say, it leads you to bad places, and I know, because I've done it. Yeah, don't do it. We have to look back to understand, to learn, and hopefully to carry something forward with us, because sometimes we just can't carry everything from the past, and sometimes we shouldn't. But we have to learn something from the past, because we can't go back, we can't redo it again. Even if we tried, no one would be there. If you constantly picture a street or a mall or your old school hallways, if you go back to the past, no one will be there, it'll be empty. Everybody moved on. And it saddens me to say that as well, but that's just how life is. It doesn't wait for anyone, you know. And now to reflect on these 3 memories. Looking at it now, the window moment didn't teach me some big traumatic life lesson, I think. I was just 3. I didn't know what danger was, I got too curious, you know. I just wanted to explore. Meet the world around me, I suppose. And honestly, this exploring, that's what made me feel alive. Maybe that's why. And some friends who watch this might now remember how adventurous I was during camp trips, or hangouts, or that one time I almost fell off a cliff. Don't worry, I will tell you all later. I think about that now. How so many of us, including me, we curl into ourselves when something new comes into our lives, even if it's good. Change feels scary. The unknown feels dangerous. Trust me, I have learned that recently and it hit me hard. But curiosity, that adventurous spirit, that's something we should never fully lose. There's a fine line between fear and caution, and I can feel it somewhere in the middle. That little kid in us is still trying to look out the window. From the racetrack, I learned something different. Passion doesn't always need permission. And sure, that's in the context of my story, but maybe it connects to yours too. Sometimes all it takes is one person who believes in you. And for me, that person was my mom. Even after all the hard stuff that came later in life, all the moving and the drama, this dream stuck around, you know, it's still in me. I want to be a race car driver. Am I doing anything to get closer to it? Well, I'm studying engineering. Does that count? I don't know. I wasn't born in Europe or close to any official racetracks, you know. my life had a different focus, let's say. So no, I'm nowhere closer to my dream, and I'd like to be, but there's just nothing I can do about it right now. But that's okay. I'm only 20. I still got time for now. But yeah, the dream stuck around. I don't even know how. But I think that day on that tiny track in Peru, it was the first time I ever felt truly alive. Because why else would I remember it so dearly, so much more detailed than any of my first memories, you know? That engine in the cart might have been really small, but it lit something big, something grand in me. And I think that's why these memories matter. They weren't just things that happened, they shaped how I start to move through the world, and maybe why I care so much about the things I do now. Maybe that's why. Then again, I was only 3, but still, all of these memories, they stayed. I thank you for your time. Maybe this video was a bit too rushed. I'm not sure. Please let me know what I could change. It's the first time I ever make this type of content in my life. I'd like it to go somewhere. And I need help. I want to know how to improve. If the microphone quality is a concern, just let me know. I know it's bad. It's bad. It's just an integrated microphone on a laptop. But we all start somewhere, and that's okay. Thank you for your time, and I hope to make another video. We'll keep going.